Hello, everyone. Sarah here from sarahbacaro.com. Today, we're going to talk about what happens when you believe. What happens when you believe in your ability to receive and what that even means. Because we all have desires, things that we want to believe in receiving. We want to believe in receiving abundance. We want to believe in our ability to receive love, joy, happiness, truth, connection. We want to believe in our ability to be set free from the things that are binding us to the past. We want to be set free from the limitations of our heart and of our mind and the stories of the reasons why we can't do it, we'll never have it, why things will never change. We want to believe in our ability to be set free. But in the believing, we experience guilt from receiving. There's an abundance of connection to guilt. And we feel it. We feel it internally when we feel guilty for desiring to receive. We have a desire to receive love, connection, something better than what we've got. And there's guilt for a lack of appreciation for what we have. So when we say, I believe in my ability to receive, we're feeling something different from what we desire based upon what we say. So there's a lot going on internally. And what needs to occur is the removal of the things that are blocking, keeping you stuck, and holding you back. One of those being guilt. When we say, I believe in my desire to receive, or I believe in my ability to receive, then the guilt comes in. The guilt slowly creeps in and gets planted and rooted in that. And then we try and unconsciously or consciously work for or towards and against that and say affirmations or mantras like, I believe in my ability to receive. If we want to receive a loving, kind, supportive, connected relationship, if we want to receive more abundance, if we want to receive more money, if we want to receive a better relationship with our friends or with our colleagues or with our spouse or with our children, if we want to receive a better job, if we want to receive a promotion, if we want to receive whatever it is that we desire to receive. And then guilt comes in. Are you sure you want to receive that? Because if you do, then you'll feel guilt. Who are you? Who do you think you are? And all of the stories that are connected to experiences of guilt or lack, or if you receive, you're taking that away from someone else who's more deserving of it, who has less than you. So if you receive it, you're taking away. And the story comes into play in our mind. If you have it, then they don't have the ability to have it too. So if you receive it, you're taking away from them. And look, they're in more need of it than you are. So who do you think you are? And this guilt and these stories and these emotions and these connections, the feelings that you don't desire to have become connected to this desire to have something different. You following me? So if you receive, you feel bad or guilty for receiving. And so what you're left with is feelings of bad and feelings of guilt. So if you've ever desired to receive something better, something more, you've also received the feeling of bad or guilty for that desire. And that's where our mind gets caught up and bound up into this, in the stories that are created from where? Where are stories created from? I think, well, I don't know, but I hear them in my head. Okay, are they created in my head? Because this desire to receive is supposed to be coming from my heart, especially if it's one that's going to be open and can be manifested and is actually going to come into my life and be a part of this and be a part of my experience of life. Well, then a part of my experience of life is guilt and shame and feelings of unworthiness or feelings that I'm not humble enough. And only a humble person can truly receive because they're the ones that have an open heart. And in my humbleness, when I do give or when I do receive, I feel so bad for receiving. I give it all away because really what I'm trying to remove and get rid of and get away from is the feeling of guilt and shame that I feel for receiving. So we get into this cycle, into this bind of giving and receiving, and then feeling like we don't ever get what we truly want, because the moment that we even get close to receiving it, we want to give it away because we're left with the feelings of guilt. And if we give it away, then we don't feel guilty, then we feel like we've shared, and we feel like we've gotten rid of it. But then we've really gotten rid of the thing that we desired and that we worked so hard for, and then what we prayed for all these years. We want to receive, but we want to receive differently. We want to receive in a better way, and it's in our human nature to desire to receive. Think about it. You go to work and you desire to receive a paycheck. You get into a relationship because you desire to receive love. But when you get that thing, what happens to it? Well, And then we tell these stories of, you know what, maybe it wasn't meant to work out. Maybe it wasn't meant to be this way. Who do I think I am for wanting that or wanting more? There are so many people who have less. And we get stuck. We get stuck in the cycle of desire and receiving and feeling guilt for receiving. And we really want to remove that. What we've got to remove is the inner emotional connection to the story that we're bad. That we're bad for desiring, that we're bad for desiring to receive or wanting things to be different, desiring for things to change, because we get into that and then we received what we desired, we're trying to manifest and pray for, we receive it, and then after a time it's like, oh, doesn't have the same shine. After a certain time it doesn't have the same shine. Yes, I'm still grateful for it, but now I want this thing. So am I ungrateful because now I desire to have something else? Yes, I got this relationship, but you know what, now I mean, it's not as shiny as it used to be. It's not as shiny as it was in the beginning. And now I've got my eye on some other things, maybe not outside the relationship, but that's kind of dull. The shine has dulled. Now I desire to receive other things. And who do I think I am? And we hear that inner voice that plays along with that and feeds that story. Yeah, who do you think you are? You ungrateful little, you know what? And then pains and traumas from the past that were connected to that same story. Who do you think you are? You ungrateful little. And then we want to shrink. We don't want to shrink, but that's what we end up doing. Inevitably, we shrink and we retreat back because we're trying to pull away from those stories, the pain that's connected to those stories of who do you think you are, you ungrateful little. Really? It's not enough for you? And then we get stuck in this not enough trap. It's never enough. If I want more and I get more, it's never enough. It's only good for a certain amount of time. It's only good for a little bit of time. Like the goodness has an expiration date, and we don't want the goodness to have an expiration date. And when we feel like it's expired, we go for the next thing that we think is going to be fresh, ready, hot out of the oven. That's not expired yet. That's nowhere near close to its expiry date. And we get stuck in this cycle and in this trap. And in that, we get stuck in the cycle and the trap of guilt and shame and blame, self-blame, taking it out on ourselves, projecting our own inner pain, or trying not to, because we know how bad that feels. And so we keep it all to ourselves and then it ends up eating us alive inside. But when you're ready to completely break free from all of this, from the guilt of receiving, really open up to your heart's desires and the abundance that surrounds you, that is connected with you, that lights you up, that really feels like, oh my gosh, this is what it's all about. And the more that I give, the more that I have to receive. And the more that I receive, the more that I have to give, and get into this openness, expansive state that there is no end to any of it. There truly isn't. There is no beginning and there is no end. And I desire and I deserve to be a part of this, the beautiful way that the universe works. And it's not about me. And it's not about me holding on to the story of limitation and lack, because the more that I do, the less I can help others. The less that I have, the less that I can help others. If you're a good-hearted, good-natured person, the more you have, the more good you can do with the good that you have. It does not make sense to live in a world, live in a life where you're playing small, playing guilty, playing ashamed, playing the story of victimization and being stuck, and that you are not meant for greater things, that you're not destined for greater things. That's not the way the laws of the universe and God work. It's not the way that they're designed. So if you realize you're living a life of playing small, playing stuck, having this story of weakness, of insignificance, and fearing abundance, fearing prosperity, that's fear. And 365 times the big book says, thou shalt not fear. So if you're living in a state of fear, fear of receiving, because you desire to not receive guilt for receiving, let's connect. That is all for today. Sending you guys so much love. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.